Imla, Alahayana Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Hamashiach Wamalakia Bahashim Harawat Bakakorash Barakatham, the water by Babal Wakwam Yasharala. Double honor to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone who teach us daily. To the men out there teaching the lightwise doctrine, I say you shalom. Today we're gonna get into a video about Trump, and he's hinting around coming to take your guns. Now, we told y'all this was going to happen because, number one, they can't just dismiss all law. They can't just wage war on the citizens as fast as they want to, because of the fact that the United States is the most heavily armed country on the planet as far as citizens. Matter of fact, it's a statistic that states we got more guns in America than actual citizens. See what I'm saying? And that is very possible considering the fact that one person has more than one gun. See what I'm saying? So, and another thing I've been seeing this morning, I've been keeping up with the news, and one of the things they want to do, they want to try to come up with excuses as to why they need to take your guns. And that's all Esau does, order out chaos. Now you got NRA people chiming in on this, and they're voicing their concerns because gun ownership is a amendment, it's a right. And considering all the mischief that ICE has been doing, Americans ain't gonna give up their guns because Americans know that that's their last line of defense against a tyrannical government. Matter of fact, let's get let's get to the Second Amendment. We finna read it. Okay. Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, ratified in 1791 as part of the Bill of Rights, protects the rights of the people to keep and bear arms. The text states a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And there's some more in here. It says the core definition. Core definition, the amendment guarantees an individual right to possess firearms for lawful purpose, such as self-defense within the home, independent of service in a militia. Key phrase, shall not be infringed, signifies a strict limitation on government overreach regarding firearm possession. That's what they hate. That's what the government is trying to get around. They even might try to come at you talking about they're going to suspend the Second Amendment. No, if y'all let them suspend it, it's not coming back. And I think there's another part of the Constitution. Let me see. Hold up. This is what I want is I want to find something else. Hold up. Let me do something real quick, y'all. All right. I'm not seeing it, but what I was looking for is something along the lines of the right to bear arms. It's the right of the citizens to bear arms to protect themselves from a tyrannical government, foreign or domestic. Let me see if I can find that. And that's where we're headed. Okay, here we go. The Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution is widely interpreted as a safeguard against a tyrannical government. There it is. Ensuring citizens have the right to keep and bear arms to resist oppression. Framers believe an armed populace, organized as a militia, could prevent the federal government from becoming a tyrannical power. That's why they want to get rid of the Constitution. Anti-tyranny purpose. The Office of Justice Programs.gov states the amendment's primary purpose is to ensure defense against a tyrannical government. That's what I was looking for. Trump knows this is there. He got to figure out a way to get around it. He can't just say you can't have guns. No. Second Amendment says we can. See what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and get to the video. I found what I wanted. I took a screenshot of it for future purposes. Now let's get to the video. But first, I want to get copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. Let's get it. Now, the name of this video is Trump Comes Out Against Guns.
Donald Trump came out this week very strongly against the Second Amendment. That's right. Donald Trump, a member of the Republican Party, the party that's been telling Republican voters for decades that Democrats want to take your guns away. Trump came out this week and said, "You can't have guns." 4 words uttered out of his mouth to a reporter. You can't have guns. So how does that feel, conservatives? You guys have been under the false belief for, again, decades that Democrats were going to come and take your guns.
Actually, Joe Biden did state that in his last presidency. He got on stage behind a podium and said, "We're coming for your Bibles and we're coming for your guns." I remember watching this video because I was going to do a video on it before they took it down. Let's go.
Republican politicians have put it in campaign ads. They've put it in flyers. They've put it on billboards that Democrats are going to come take your guns. And now we have a Republican president who said, you can't have guns. He, of course, was referring to Alex Preddy. Preddy had a gun on him, sure. A legally obtained gun that he was legally licensed to carry So he was not violating any laws. He was doing exactly what he was legally allowed to do because he did everything right. And before he was viciously executed on the sidewalk, that gun had already been removed by those federal officers. He was no longer a threat. He was subdued. He had a broken rib. He was detained and then executed. But here is what happened. PBS NewsHour White House correspondent Elizabeth Landers asked Donald Trump, "Sir, was Mr. Peretti acting as an assassin? Do you think he was acting as an assassin in Minneapolis?" And Trump said, "Who is that?" So we're going to start with a little bit of dementia, aren't we? Before he gets into you can't.
No, he gonna start with a little line like he don't know who that is.
Have guns. The President of the United States, who has made repeated comments about what happened in Minneapolis, was asked about Alex Peretti, and he's like, "Who's that? Who's that guy?" Yeah, we're off to a great start. Landers responded, "Mr. Peretti, your deputy chief of staff said that," referring to Stephen Miller. He said, "No." And Landers said, "You don't think so?" And Trump said, "Having said that, you can't have guns. You can't walk in with guns." And Landers said, "What about the Second Amendment?" And Trump said, "You can't do that, but it's just a very unfortunate incident." So what about the Second Amendment? Donald Trump says, you can't have that. So we can't have the Second Amendment now. Darn. Look, honestly, if they wanted to go in, amend the Constitution, and totally get rid of the Second Amendment and say guns are outlawed in the United States, my life is not going to change at all.
Oh, yes, it is. It's going to change from the worst. Because if you study history, what happened to Australia when they turned in their guns? That's history. That's what Esau does. He disarms you because he doesn't want competition, confrontation. So you should be very worried about them coming and take your guns because that's your last line of defense. Especially these people out here with families. You should be very concerned because you can be easily overpowered by these people, right? So in order to balance it out, that's where guns come in at. Now, I'm not condoning violence, but I am an advocate for self-preservation. I am an advocate for protecting your family and your possessions. Now, I'm not pushing that guns are going to save you or get you out of this. But if you think that you need a gun, you better go get one. You better go get some. Now, him cool with the government taking guns, he obviously doesn't know who the enemy is. We do.
There is not a single possession I have that I will have to purge. There is not a part of my life that is going to be any different than it is right this very second.
Oh, yes, it is.
I wouldn't care. I would embrace it, actually, to be honest.
See, everybody's not like you, Farron. There are wicked men upon this earth, seeking whom they may devour. Matter of fact, let's get it. 1 Peter. Now, guns are not going to save you, but with having a gun, it'll make these people think twice about messing with you. That's all I'm saying. Let's get 1 Peter chapter 5. Verse 8, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil means deceiver, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. And they devoured Alex Peretti, Salaki. They devoured him. They stole his gun, beat on him, and executed him. Broad daylight. So yes, sir, you should be very concerned, because if guns are turned in, your life is going to change.
I would be totally okay with that.
No, you won't.
So, you know, if he wants to do it, he's telling us we can't have guns. Then I think the Democrats need to jump on it and be like, we support Donald Trump's push for gun control. Because,
see, that's an Edomite right there. This man is advocating for his own destruction. And another thing about gun ownership, people are not just going to turn in guns. You have people out here who has invested tens of thousands of dollars into collecting guns and ammo and upgrades for their guns. They're not just going to give that away. Family heirlooms passed down from generation to generation. They're not going to give those guns away. And you have ex-military. Hell no. Especially when they see the shit the government's on right now. You think they're just going to give their last line of defense away? They're not. They're going to fight first. And that's what Trump wants, a civil war. And they'll take it however they can get it.
that's what it is. This is Donald Trump wanting to put limitations on gun carrying, gun ownership, all of those things that Republicans have campaigned against for decades. But ironically, majority of the public is actually in favor of those things. So this...
No, we're not. The majority of the public wants ICE gone. And if ICE is not gone, they are ready to bust at ICE. I don't know where you're getting your information from, Betty.
This might be, if Trump actually wanted to do what he said, this might be the only popular thing that Donald Trump ever does. Because let's be real here. A majority of Americans want gun control. A majority of gun owners want gun control. A majority of gun owners and regular Americans want the dangerous guns off the streets.
Dangerous guns are not the problem. Dangerous Edomites with guns are the problem. Always has been. Who are the school shooters? Who are the mass shooters? Who are the church shooters? Gun can sit in the drawer, in a dresser drawer, and won't hurt nobody. It's the wicked man pulling the trigger, who often always happens to be an Edomite. Let's be clear. Guns don't kill people. Wicked people kill people, especially Edomites.
They don't want what we see in this country. It is a handful of lunatics with the NRA that keeps the killing going.
Wicked Edomites with guns who keep the killing going. It's wicked Edomites in government who keeps the killing going. Look at your history. We are.
So if Trump wants to tell people you can't have guns, I'll back you up, buddy. I'll support it. Not going to support you overall, but I'll support that decision.
See, he think this is a perfect world and everybody's just going to get along once the guns are gone. No. Now you open for attack. He doesn't know who his enemies are. But see, his enemies are his own people. That's where the delusion comes in, that, oh, they'll never do it to us. Okay. They did it. And they ain't gonna stop doing it. If you ain't rich, they don't care.
Because something does need to be done. But Alex Preddy didn't break the law. He was allowed to have that, legally obtained it, had it registered, everything by the book. He was the proverbial good guy with a gun, but he wasn't even using it. And your federal agents, Donald, killed him anyway. Thanks for watching.
Exactly. So if you're armed and you get murdered, your chances of being murdered go up without a gun. You Edomites gonna learn the hard way that you have no solidarity within your nation. Your nation is comprised of murderers, liars, and thieves, cutthroats. Look at your president. He's all of those, and then some. Let's get some scriptures. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. That Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. We know why you want to take the guns. We know why you need a reason and an excuse to be justified to do it. Less resistance. And the fact that the citizens are going to recognize wickedness when they see it and they're going to fight back. Sirach chapter 12, verse 10, never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Edomites are so much of a coward, they don't believe in fair fights. They believe in sabotage, disarmament, lies, thievery, murder. They believe in attacking the weakest. And they've been doing that since the biblical days. Amalekites attacking Israelites from the back because the elderly and the young were in the back. This is what they do. These people don't do fair fights. And if you're waiting on Esau to come out and tell you his real plan, you really don't know your enemy. Go to Psalm chapter 94. Verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? They gather themselves together against the souls of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. This is Esau's nature. He doesn't care about right and wrong. All he cares about is quenching his bloodthirst. If they cared about right and wrong, that guy Alex Pretty would still be alive. Psalm chapter 58, verse 2, yea, in heart ye work wickedness, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb, they go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Look at how they lied on that man. Christian Nome, Trump, all of them lied on him. They painted him as being the victim, the problem. Trump called this man a terrorist. See? Psalm chapter 37, verse 32, the wicked watcheth the righteous and seeketh to slay him. Now, I'm not saying this man that they deleted was good or bad. I'm not saying either one because I don't know him. All I know is the wicked. They weigh the violence of their hands in the earth. I guess that's the only way Esau can feel like a man, I don't know. This got so many. I ain't gonna say medical issues or mental issues. I'm gonna say spiritual issues because this man was created like this. The Lord created the perfect fuck up. Esau, Edom. Let's get this one. Actually, let's go to the Apocrypha. Let's go to the book of Sirach. chapter 10, verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. Them ice goons, yeah. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, all such are all they that dwell therein. Pedophile president, pedophile citizens. A murderous president, murderous citizens. Verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. Chapter 12, verse 3, there can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, nor to him that giveth no alms. Chapter 11, verse 31, for he lieth in wait and turneth good into evil, and in things worthy praise he will lay blame upon thee. See, false accusing. It's his fault. He got murdered. What? So your murderous goons ain't had nothing to do with it. Okay. Here goes some more characteristics of Esau, Edom. Book of Sirach, chapter 12, verse 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my words to be pricked therewith. Verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee every time. Chapter 14, verse 7. And if he do it good, he do it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. The envious man have a wicked eye, he turneth away his face and despiseth men. A covetous man's eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked driveth up his soul. Exactly. That's why the Lord compared them to a drop that falleth from a vessel. These people ain't got no substance, man. No empathy, no morality, no dignity, no honor. Just empty vessels. The Lord ain't missing nothing by getting rid of Edom, Esau. No, that's why they're gonna be exterminated. They bring nothing to the table but death, violence, and destruction. Lies, thievery, murder. That's what they bring to the table. Pedo shit, bestiality shit, homo shit. These are their contributions. Walking abominations. That's why the Lord compared them to a vessel that falleth from a bucket. I'll take a sip of my tea. Let's keep rolling. Let's go to Acts chapter 13, verse 10. And said, O full of all subtlety and all mischief, thou child of the devil, thy enemy of all righteousness, wilt thou not cease to pervert the right ways of the Lord? See, Esau sneaky as hell, and he'll never tell you the truth. It's like if Esau tell the truth, he's just gonna melt. What is going on? This phone's locking. Okay, let's roll. Let's get this one. Yeah, he's slick. He think he's slick. Psalm chapter 83, verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Oh, that's my foot on this. Hold on, let me fix this. All right. Now let's go to Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. That's why he's unfit to rule. He will deal unjustly. Get this one. Psalms chapter 55, verse 20. He had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He have broken his covenants. That's why it says never trust thine enemy. You don't have to do nothing to Esau for him to get in his feels and want to murder something. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords, always ready to attack something. Sit your ass down, bruh. That's all right. You gonna sit down. Wait till the Lord pull up. Oh, you gonna sit down. And you ain't getting back up. Get this one. I would think he can punk somebody. The weakest thing the Lord had created as far as the human family. Well, I use that term human very loosely because you ain't human, bruh. Psalms 140, verse 2. I mean, eat raw meat, have sex with animals. Yeah, you. I don't know what you are, bruh. And I tell people, just because somebody can walk on two legs and speak words doesn't make them human. One of the things that make you human is empathy, which Esau wasn't given. Y'all got to understand that. Psalms chapter 140, from the top. To the chief musician, a psalm of David, deliver me, O Lord, from the evil man, preserve me from the violent man. See? Which imagine mischiefs in their heart, continually are they gathered together for war. They have sharpened their tongue like a serpent, adder's poison is under their lips a lie. Keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked, preserve me from the violent man, who have purpose to overthrow my goings. The proud have hid a snare for me and cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me. Salah. A gin is a trap. They want to disarm you so they can come in your house and do whatever the fuck they want to do. Excuse my French. But that's the goal. And the Fourth Amendment, a matter of fact, now they're saying these ICE agents can enter your home without a warrant. That's not what the Fourth Amendment says. Fourth Amendment gives you protection from unlawful searches and seizures. The only way they can come in if that warrant has to be signed by a judge. They don't have a warrant signed by a judge, you don't even have to open the door. Don't go to the door. Because they're going to use them Jedi mind tricks coupled with lies to get you to open the door or to get you to come outside. Don't even open the door. If they do have a warrant, tell them to slide it under the door. And I'm hearing this from an attorney. These are not my words. So it's a little something to give you something to fight with. At least know some of your rights. Yeah, the attorney said you don't even have to open the door. If they don't have a warrant signed by a judge, leave them out there. Get this one. That ain't what I wanted. Go to Proverbs chapter 4, though. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 16. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. Exactly. People don't know what peace is. They knew what peace was. America wouldn't be at war over 200 years of their existence. Go to the book of Micah. Chapter 6, verse 12. For the rich man thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouth. Everybody who was murdered, the innocent blood, they demonize these people to make them righteous. Murder has never been righteous. Matter of fact, you're supposed to be put to death for committing that. Get this one. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16. These 6 things that the Lord hate, yes, 7 are an abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands to shed innocent blood, a heart that divides a wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, and false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. Trump is guilty of all that plus some. Go to Isaiah chapter 59. Verse 4. Now, all these scriptures were originally written talking about 2/3 Israelites, but you can easily apply this to Esau because this is where the 2/3 Israelites gets this behavior from. Esau, the source of wickedness. Isaiah chapter 59, verse 4. None calleth for justice, nor any pleaded for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. They conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity. Their web shall not become garments, neither shall they cover themselves with their works. Their works are works of iniquity, and the act of violence is in their hands. Their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity. Wasting and destruction are in their paths. Everywhere Esau goes, anywhere on this planet, he destroying some shit, taking some shit, lying about some shit. This is what you can expect from him. Lies, theft, and murder. Verse 8. The way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their goings. They have made them crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace. Anybody who deals with Edom, they end up regretting it. Look at all the other nations. Just like in Revelation chapter 11, and the nations were angry because they dealt with America, who is ran by Amalekites, the tiny tops. Trump just a face following orders. This is the book of James. Chapter 5, we can start at verse 5. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and have been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he does not resist you. And that's what we seen on that video when Alex Pretty got put down. Yeah, you have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. That's why we say Esau don't care about no laws. The biggest lawbreaker ever created, trying to enforce some laws, that doesn't happen. "34 felonies and counting. But he's the voice of reason. Stop it. Anybody who got 34 felons, they said F the law a long time ago. And now you got judges trying to beg this man to tell the truth. That's why this country's done. Checks and balances. Your system of checks and balances in government has been destroyed. And now you have a dictator, America's baby, because you refuse to punish him. So he's going to destroy you. And it's the Lord's will Donald Trump destroys this country. Did this one. Book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 3. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord have his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. Y'all ain't getting away with nothing. Matter of fact, all you're doing is earning your judgment. Keep earning it. You're doing a great job. Get this one. Second Peter chapter 2, verse 9. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptation, and to reserve the unjust unto the day of judgment to be punished. Y'all ain't got away with nothing. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Okay, yeah, Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fear the face of the world with cities. All you so-called innocent Edomites, y'all finna pay for what your forefathers did and still doing to this day. You got to think about it. The Lord judges nations. All of Israel wasn't wicked, but we all went into captivity. All of Edom going. Those who survived the nuclear lake of fire, that is. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 35. Verse 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord power, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. Your kingdom is about to be destroyed, just like you Edomites are about to be destroyed. Verse 11. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord power, I will even do according to thine anger, according to thine envy, which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them. Talk about against the Israelites. And I will make myself known among them when I have judged thee. Thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh, and that I have heard all the blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountain of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given to us to consume. That's why they want to take the guns. They just want to start slaughtering people. Remember the end game, depopulation. Thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, when the whole earth rejoices, I will make thee desolate, as thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel, because it was desolate. So will I do unto thee, thou shalt be desolate, O Mount Seir, and all Idumea, even all of it, and they shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh. Idumea is Greek for Edom, and Mount Seir is their home. You are a people before you are a place. This scripture is talking about the destruction of Edomites. And we can finish off in Obadiah. Verse 2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Verse 9, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Verse 15, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, you took advantage of the Israelites. And this ain't just talking about, well, it's talking about Edom, but it's also talking about all the other nations too, especially this verse. Because it says all the heathen. Verse 16. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Everything you stole, you finna run that, and then some. Verse 18, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. They shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord Yahweh have spoken it. This is at the end of your 1,000 years captivity, though. So like in verse 15, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon your own head. Verse 21, and Savior shall come upon Mount Zion to judge the mount of Esau, and the kingdom shall be the Lord's, not Trump's. So yeah, we're not ignorant to Satan's devices. Matter of fact, the prophets told the government they was gonna do this. Your history says you was gonna do this. So ain't no surprises over here. We just gonna sit back in the cut and let the Lord do with you what he will. And ain't nobody gonna feel sorry for you. Not even your women. Matter of fact, your women, they filing for divorce right now because they see how cowardly Edomite men really are. Call Lord Malala Hai now Yahweh about Shem Yahweh Shai. Hamashiach Wa Malaki Yabah Hashem Harawat Wakak Warash Barakathum. The water Bible Bawa Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.